Okay, guys, welcome to February's Team Hatton In Your Corner event. My name is Nicola Day, and I'm here with my brain and ideas for you guys to inspire you to create new ideas within your boxing for fitness business, and also to, more importantly, set action points for you to go away with to actually work with these tangible things that we have within Team Hatton. So you guys have all been invited. So we have a number of people that are already joining and are members of Team Hatton and pay that monthly subscription to add all of the benefits. And some of you that might be watching have either been previously members of Team Hatton or are thinking and contemplating about joining again. So I thought it's important actually to show you and give you some idea and detail on what it is that my role is within Team Hatton and Hatton Boxing at the moment, and what it is that I'm trying to create for you guys as well. So to give you a little idea quickly before we go into today's topic, which is of course Fight Camp, I just want to let you know all the things that you get from Team Hatton if you were to become a member, on top of the session plans that you're going to be getting every month. So we write 2 session plans for each level. So fundamentals, advanced and elite. So you'll get 6 new session plans each month. The idea of those, guys, is obviously the complexity of the boxing will increase, but ultimately the fitness rounds do stay the same in order for you to create overload for your clients that are coming every week, and ensure that they can get better and see the benefits of creating the session plan and doing the same thing and feeling like they did better this week to what they did in week. Okay, so the session plans are there for you to use. They essentially work as standalone session plans. So if you're running 1 class a week, up to however many classes a week, or you're running one-to-one PT sessions, those are there for you to pick up, have a look at, and if there's anything on there that that client cannot do because you haven't taught them, you'll obviously need to do a little bit of prep work in regards to coaching them the techniques before they are included in that standalone session plan. So those work really great for people that are already have established classes, for if you're just starting with people. But today I thought it's important to show you what Fight Camp is, because a lot of people come to our sessions having not really much idea of where to start, and I truly believe that Fight Camp should be the first thing that you go to whether you're going to introduce Fight Camp as a small group personal training program, which is why it was developed. But actually, the more I looked at it when we were developing it, the more I thought it's actually a really great tool for you to use for the first instance of somebody coming to you for one-to-one training, the first instance for a group of people coming to you for your first class on a Wednesday evening at 7:30. So we're going to talk about that, and I'll show you the structure of Fight Camp and how it really can help if you're not started yet, how to start by using Fight Camp. And also the benefits of using Fight Camp to create a community of small group personal training. And I said a couple of weeks ago when I did my last In Your Corner event, is that this time of year, people are looking to get fit and do all of those things. And I think predominantly those people who are serious about it have already started. You may have a lot of people on your social media, friends, family, that are still sitting on the edge for whatever reason. Maybe because it's too expensive. They don't really know what to expect. They don't know what they're actually going to get out of training with you. So I think Fight Camp and small group personal training, 1, makes it more affordable. And 2, it's a really clear set out plan from A to B on how they're going to use boxing for fitness to benefit a world of different things within their lifestyle. Yes, they'll come in and burn calories. Yes, they'll get fitter. They'll create a community and a social environment where they can rely on new people. They would potentially help their confidence grow, their mental well-being, which is a hot topic right now, and we'll talk about that shortly. They'll get your personal expertise and help in amongst that. And Fight Camp, we're going to explore some ideas on how the skills that you have currently can benefit in those small group personal training sessions using Fight Camp as well. So I just want to talk about that sort of later on. But I think, so that's obviously Fight Camp and the standalone session plans within Team Hatton. If at any point you see something also on a session plan that you go, oh, I'm not sure what that is with regards to boxing technique, You've also got the support videos, and they're our team of master trainers. Granted, they were filmed a few years ago, so we all look very different now. But they're where we teach just as we did on the course. So you can go back and have a look and sort of ready up your pad holding skill on that personal technique, or your boxing skill on that technique. So when you do teach it within your class, those support videos are already on there as well, along with the marketing posters that are ready to download for you to use. And they're editable, so you can add your own bits and pieces if you pop it into Canva. So download it onto your computer, pop it into an app called Canva, which is free to use. That poster then becomes the background, and you can add text for social posts and to create posters for Facebook, posters if you're somewhere in a community centre or a gym. So by using Canva, you can download the already pre-made marketing material posters that we've created and add your own text and location and time and pricing and stuff on those as well. So that's my first top tip. Canva is good because it's free. So it's good to use, and you can directly post onto your social media accounts or download and print those posters for your own use as well. So that's a good little tool. Moving forward, Team Hatton now is my little baby. We're going to be having these monthly sort of catch-ups and meetings, or more frequently sometimes if there's a topic that I feel like I want to share with you guys, like today. And I'm really interested to know what it is that you need, because I have all my ideas in my head, but I really want to know what you guys need and how I can help you. I've been in this industry for 20 plus years, so I've got a lot of experience, contacts, etc. on how to help you as well. So if there's ever anything or any topic that you want me to cover, or any sort of small training that you want me to deliver, then please just let me know, and I will endeavour to get that scheduled in our monthly In Your Corner meetings. Now, moving forward, these In Your Corner meetings will be, or the recordings will be, as a library of videos that you can go to at any time, and they'll be sitting on our new website. It's being developed, and hopefully by the end of this month will be on. So Team Hatton in itself will have a new look. All of your online learning, if you're still in learning with us, will be on our new website. All of the In Your Corner recordings, along with session plans and all the things that I've just spoken about, will sit on one page now. So it'll be much easy to access, much easy accessible for you guys to have a look at that as well. So if there's anything as a side note that you want me to cover, then please let me know. But for the most part, I think it's business that I can help you with. If there's anything specifically on topics, we're having Carol come in and talk about older adults and Parkinson's again later this month. And she's actually in the real world working, using Hatton Boxing for Fitness with her Parkinson's clients and her neurological business. So I think that's something that we can look at as well. And you'll see why I think it's important to start having a look at that too. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview on Team Hatton. Also coming up, I'm working on currently another adaptation of what we're going to call sparring partners. These are going to be, again, a library of other existing businesses that we see fit for you guys to potentially, whether it's going to be courses, online learning of different varieties, discounts on equipment, etc. So sparring partners is going to be a new initiative that we're just getting off the ground now, so you guys can get discounts, and we can link you with businesses that we already work with as well. So that's coming up. So I'm working on that currently. Any questions about any of that before I start?
Nicola, just a quick one.
Yep.
I can't seem to get access to the video tutorials. They come up, but I can't open them up. And obviously it's something else that you can let me know afterwards. But
okay.
I don't know whether it's just me or everybody else.
Okay, yeah, no, you should be able to see them because they're very old videos. I watched them recently. Yes, if you can't see them, hit me an email, Andy, n.day@hattonboxing.com, and I'll have a look at that. It might be your cookies, or if you cleared your browsing history or anything lately, because sometimes videos don't play because of catch.
Maybe. I'll
potentially that. Yeah, clear your browsing history and then see. And then if that still doesn't work, then send me an email and we'll have a look. But it might be they'll obviously be migrating onto the new website, so fingers crossed that'll fix the problem as well. But you should be able to see them for sure. Cool. I mean, it's nice actually, those videos, because we're actually teaching them rather than it just being a script in your manuals. We're actually physically teaching them like we did on the course. So So they're really useful. Any other questions? No, okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so today, let's move on to what we're up to today. So obviously, welcome to your Team Hatton In Your Corner event. Today, we're gonna have a look at, and I've added this in because I think it's important, it's the 2023 fitness trends. We're gonna look at you guys having, again, a deep dive into yourselves on how you can, if you need to, upskill, what research you need to do, and any partnerships and ideas on how you can run a successful fight camp based on the current skills you have and your own interests and the interests of your clients. You know your client base, you know who you're already appealing to, and we're trying now to get those people that are sitting on the edges to commit to you. This is business. You know that you can help them. So we're looking at trying to, you know, dangle the carrot essentially and find out why they're not signing up with you, whether it's one-to-one or coming to a class already. Is it too intimidating? Is it the money, like I mentioned earlier? And maybe fight camp could be the way in for those people. So we're going to look into that. I'm not going to teach you and tell you what you should be charging. That's not my job. Actually, the last business meeting we had, we worked back on costing. So it's about what you need to earn and then what you can physically charge for your skills. And then we're going to take a look at fight camp and what fight camp actually is. And then by that time, hopefully we'll have indulged in some ideas on, you can go, actually, do you know what? I really like the idea of that. And as always, I like to leave you with an action plan. Things only ever move with a plan that's put into action. So I would like you to leave with a couple of different action points to work on today where you can go, yeah, I've done that. I've completed that, if you choose to. Okay. So why is it important? I think personally, it's really important to explore what's on trend right now. One, to see if you're keeping up. And two, to plan your own development in any key areas that interest you, that spark your interest. Now, of course, with Boxing for Fitness, it's a niche market, but is it really? Is it a niche market, or do we just get the people that want to come and get fit, that want to come and have fun? So don't put yourself in a box necessarily that you don't belong into. So I think it's always really important to look at trends in the fitness industry, to develop your own business and develop your own skill and ability on how you can broaden your reach to these people as well. So let's have a look. Doing some research today, the biggest one that came up that was across the board on the research that I took, and I've not put it at the top, I know I've not put it at the top of this slideshow, is this: mind and body and recovery. Post-pandemic changes have made people look a lot more into their wellness, their overall wellness. And I think this is something that I've been chirping on about for years and years. And everybody's starting to catch up now. We're talking about sleep. We're talking about nutrition, not just in January. We're talking about our wellness. We're trying to focus more on progress, performance, and overall strength. People are looking over the idea of fad diets and quick fixes. And I think that's really important to understand. If you're in that market now, you're on point. So if you're considering your own sleep, your own wellness, your mind-body recovery, you are on point and you have a gift to share it. It's your job to share it. Top of the tops for the last 2 years has actually been wearable technology. Now, obviously, with our Hatton Boxing for Fitness sessions or our fight camp sessions, we don't include wearable technology. With some of our sessions and some of our gyms have MyZone, and we work and we use our heart rate to work in and amongst. But my question, I'm going to try and question you on any of these. If you've got somebody that has wearable technology that is coming to your sessions and they're looking at what's happened in that session, whether it's been a 30-minute one-to-one or whether it's been a 60-minute class, and they're looking and going, whoa, look what my heart rate went to, or look at how quickly I recovered, or calories burned. That is a gift that you should be using. Champion your people. So if they're wearing wearable technology as it stands now to their sessions, you should be asking them to have access to that, or a screenshot of that, to share with the people that are watching you. If you're not, you're missing a trick, because wearable technology is on point right now. So for those that don't have it, that's fine. Maybe look into, if you're interested in it, look into it and look into it for yourselves and your own training, so you can start sharing and looking at what your body's doing. It's quite interesting now because it includes sleep, it includes your recovery. Some different obviously offer different things, but some look into your recovery and where you're at and where you should train on that day based on how you slept and how your recovery and your rest periods were the previous 24 hours. And others are very simple, like My Zone, for instance, the wearable strap during the training, they just track that session. So looking at wearable technology is something that I think you should potentially be looking into, but also how it's going to help you instantly is start using your clients' sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Your clients' feedback. Yeah, feedback on that session to show other people what's happening to these people's bodies. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Good. So have a little look into wearable technology if you're not using it. Does anybody currently use anything like that? I think
one of my clients uses a Fitbit.
Yeah.
She
tracks steps.
Yeah, she occasionally does share her boxing for fitness workouts.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And all you need to do is just ask permission to be able to share. And the clients love it. If they go over your social media pages and see that their last workout's posted on your page, it's a little bit of, yeah, I did well. So it creates that chat as well within your client and your socials. Yeah, so take a look into wearable technology. The second most, like I mentioned, is the mind, body and recovery, and more of a shift on wellness. People are looking at making sure that their recovery is on point, avoiding illnesses, maintaining a healthy body, balancing hormones. These are all really key topics at the moment for both male and female people as well. So on this, I think if this scares you because you don't really know about mind, body, recovery, Pilates, mobility, flexibility, could you, and this is a question because this really interests me, could you partner with somebody that does? Do you know people in and around you that are on point with this right now? Could they come into your fight camp business and offer an online session once a fortnight or once a week as part of the fight camp package? It doesn't only need to be just you. You potentially have a multitude of individuals that are trained in these hot topics right now that you could use and ask if they would like to partner, because then that opens a whole new business for you in the fact that you can do box and breathe, for instance. That's just something I've literally just thought of. So you don't have to call it fight camp necessarily, but you could do box and breathe using the fight camp system, but once a week, replacing one of the boxing sessions, or maybe offering 4 sessions a week to have one of those sessions purely based on recovery. And that can be face-to-face, or that could potentially be online, depending on the person that you find that's happy to partner with you. And I think that that's a great idea, again, because it's on trend and we're thinking about wellness. Equally, we'll move down to personalized nutrition. We'll go to number 4. If you don't know much about nutrition, I'm sure you know enough. And we spoke about this a few weeks back, in that you don't have to be a registered dietitian nutritionist to be able to give sound nutrition advice. You need to work on hydration, sleep, eating more whole foods and vegetables. The healthy eating plate, which used to be the healthy eating pyramid, gives you enough information to get somebody on the straight and narrow when it comes to their diet and nutrition. Think of 6 topics for the 6 weeks of your fight camp, or 10 for the 10 weeks of your fight camp, and give a handout and give that information. Or find somebody that's interested in partnering with you to, again, offer that package within fight camp, within your small group personal training package. Allow them access to your clients. It doesn't take your clients away to them, because they're only going to be touching on something that you're not currently qualified or confident to work with. So I think that that's something to think about as well. Oh, somebody else is waiting. They're in. So personalized nutrition is coming up, and that's based around post-pandemic changes and making sure that people are more interested in progress, performance, and overall strength with wellness and avoiding illnesses and injuries. And I think that's something, those 3 key points there that I've just mentioned, teaming up with somebody that knows a little bit more about nutrition. If you don't, I personally think with a little bit of research, you'll be able to create 6 topics to create changes, healthy changes within your client group. If with a bit of prior planning, it could go down a storm. I'm not saying weigh-ins every week because I don't think that's the way forward. However, if you're going to personalize your fight camp to a specific population, then it could be something you look into. Or partnering with somebody that has mind, body, Pilates, recovery, flexibility, mobility experience, having one of those sessions come in. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I think it's really important to not stay, whilst fight camp is effective on its own. I truly believe that. I ran many fight camps pre-lockdown, and once I was writing it to make sure it worked. But I think the more we sit down and think about what we can do and what people are looking for, and that's where the trends come in and why that I've added this in. I think it's reaching out to these other people, and obviously that also then gives you access to their database of clients, which is a win-win. People are looking for, so what else are we looking for? Another one that was interesting, older adults. Older adults are looking to get outside to exercise. I know it's not necessarily the right time of year right now, but you should be planning for spring, summer activities now. You should be planning on a start date so you can have a marketing plan to lead up to what you're going to market, how you're going to market, how you're going to reach people. So, you know, you could run it fight camp like a 60-minute session still 3 times a week, but only do 3 of the 5 rounds and then do a walk and talk. You start thinking. So if the older adult population is an area that you are interested in, an area that you're passionate about, or that you might be getting into yourself, then I think that that's one to have a look at. Again, it's not, and I don't mean to demean any qualifications because I teach all of these qualifications, but it's not rocket science to have a look at what these people need and provide safe and effective training to get them outside and exercising more, with the ability to do the body weight training that you've got access to with Boxing for Fitness. Things that we can't really do, obviously body weight training we can, functional training, CrossFit, F45. What's interesting about these and why I think it's really important to start having a look into small group personal training, CrossFit and F45 work because it's based around community. It's your individuals coming into a room at the same time and then becoming cheerleaders with or without pom-poms together. And I think CrossFit has got that nailed. Their community spirit, regardless of ability, age, etc., is immense. If you've ever been into a CrossFit box, they're crazy. F45s are popping up everywhere because they're quick and efficient workouts.
Sorry, Nicola, what's F45? I don't know what that is.
So they're actually standalone studios with functional 45. So they have a strength component of their classes. So you'd book a class and everybody comes in and runs that class. So if you Google it, you'll see, but they're standalone studios. They're called F45 on the front, whereas CrossFit boxes are a bit different. They call their CrossFit boxes all different, but F45 is a brand based around 45 minutes of functional fitness. They work on a strength component and a functional fitness component. And they're popping up everywhere. It's I can't think of that. I don't know why my words are missing today.
It's fine. I'll tap into it.
Franchise. Yeah, it's a franchise. But they're popping up everywhere at the moment. So they're people are looking for quick and effective ways to train. And I think, you know, Hatton Boxing for Fitness works very well because of the intensity, the low impact and the variety of activity and exercise, incorporating full body workout, as well as learning new skill, developing confidence, meeting new people, along with all the physical benefits. There's a lot of mental well-being benefits as well with boxing. So, and HIIT's not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere, although we love to hate it. So I think that's really interesting. So those are the key things for what's coming up in 2023. And I think hopefully you've been able to jot down some ideas of how you can link fight camp. Don't get me wrong, you can run it as just a fight camp with no extra help, no extras, and it does the trick. But what we're doing here is looking at what the trends are and what the people are saying they want, and what the fitness industry is, how the fitness industry is changing and evolving post-pandemic as well. So what I'd like you to do now is think about, I'm going to go back to this, but my question, I'm just going to give you 60 seconds or so to write down what you think your fight camp will be. Would it just be basic fight camp? Or could, because of what you already know, already do, or contacts you already share, do any of these? So 60 seconds on the clock. What will your fight camp look like? I can hear my children screaming downstairs. Half-term fun. So could your fight camp have nutrition? Could your fight camp have mind body? Could it be a focus on women's body weight and functional training? Could it be a focus on mobility and recovery? Or mental well-being, because you know about those things and you can deliver a 20-minute talk on that each week? What is going to make you stand out to just turning up to a standard class once a week? I think that's a good point. So martial artists, what else do they need? So if you do martial arts, what else does a martial artist need to make progress? They need mentality, don't they? They need physical, obviously physical prowess and skill, but also they need mental ability to continue in anything they do. So maybe looking at, I know this sounds silly, but I'm talking as I'm thinking, not a book club as such, but personal development. If they need anything like that to develop their belief, to get rid of any criticism or, you know, self-limiting beliefs that they have as well. What do you mean by realism? Sorry. We've just got somebody in on the chat here.
Sorry, Nicola, are we just going to read this out to you when we're done?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Whenever you're ready. So I'm just finding this. Oh, fight specific. Is that what that says? I think that's all to do with training, isn't it? So I think that really depends on applicable. Got you. I think that all depends. That's your training. That's your niche. So fight camp will help with training, development, skill, conditioning first and foremost. But where you're telling me that you need help with is the specifics, which I wouldn't be able to help you with because I don't do martial arts. But that would be inviting them to, I don't know, I spoke about Friday night fight night, inviting them every 2 weeks potentially to a sparring session or something along those lines. If you are covered on insurance and qualified to allow your people to spar. So presuming that you are, because you are in martial arts. So I'd potentially get at doing something like that. Excellent. Yeah, definitely for conditioning. I think we're pretty unrivaled with regards to our session rounds. That's really good to hear. I think it's really cross board from a conditioning perspective for any athlete or parent just coming to get fit. Okay, let's have a debrief then on what our ideas are so far with Fight Camp. What can we run? So Andy, did you want to?
Yeah.
Have your ideas?
I'm just going to try and focus on a max group of no more than 4.
Okay.
Tailoring mine down to 1 to 2, maximum 4, because I'm a great believer that the more you got, you lose focus on skill sets, etc. That's I'm a great believer. I'll take on your advice with regards to like a self-tailored nutrition, a weekly handout, because I've got a general knowledge with regards to like the proteins and all that sort of stuff. So, but if anybody in particular wants any form of a bit more in-depth information, then I will tap into nutritionists that I equally know. I don't know how I would finance that yet. It's something that I need to look into, whether or not
add it in the cost, see what they're going to charge, see what their ideas are once you develop your idea, and it'll evolve. It'll evolve naturally.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I can give them as much as they need to know on mental health and well-being as a result of my background. That was something which would come. It will come flowing through my training. So there's no need for me to tap in. And I would incorporate. I was thinking of incorporating like an ad hoc session on maybe yoga or Pilates from again someone that I would know on the ground. That I could bring them in, and once again, how I would finance that, I would have to pencil into my plan. That's pretty much that's a sort of
fantastic. I think it's really useful to think outside the box on who you can partner with, because you'll be stronger together. You'll have a bigger database of people to work with. And like I said, all these hot topics, we need to be working with them and finding these people to work with as well. So that's great. Does anybody else want to share? There's no pressure to. So thinking about what partners you can create. So thinking about what your fight camp's potentially going to look like off of the back of this call. Who do you already know? Or what do you need to, or who can you find? So what partnerships can you create? And you can, on this bit underneath your initial idea, write some names down on who you have contacts with, or some overview on you need a local nutritionist or you need a local X person. So just write a couple of either names or professionalisms that you will require. And your job then is to find those people and make contact, and just set up a catch up, a phone call, 5 minutes on a phone call to see if they're interested, see what they're going to charge and how you can factor that in cost wise to your offering. And then the last one, what research or learning do you have to do in order to do that? Now, I suggest that you have a business meeting with yourself every week, come rain or shine, every week, whether it's a Sunday night or a Monday afternoon. You have a business meeting with yourself on what's coming this week and what do you need to create? What marketing material do you need to create? If you're doing weekly food topics within your fight camp groups, or so this week's going to be about nutrition, some facts about nutrition and overall eating using the food pyramid or the Eat Well plate, apologies. And getting them to just track how many vegetables they eat per day. I did one last year on the guidelines now are to have 30 different varieties of fruit and vegetables in your diet each week. 30 different varieties, not just 30 portions, 30 different varieties. And that was a challenge. So there are lots of things that you can do that are just fun, and it will create learning activities for you to do. So again, just write down what learning or research will you have to do in order to create your initial idea of fight camp. Yeah, I agree. We're going to look into the whole life fight camp. No problem, Chris. I have spoken for longer than I planned to yet again. Thank you for coming. I'll send the recording out. I love that I've given you things to think about. That's great. Guys, when you're speaking about nutrition, don't get overwhelmed by it. You don't need to go, in my opinion, right? This is my opinion. You don't need to go and spend £1,000 on a nutrition course when it doesn't qualify you. A nutritionist is not a qualification. It's not a title that's deemed, I can call myself a nutritionist, but a dietitian is degree level. You're not necessarily going to go and do that if that's something you want to do. But to help people with nutrition, you just need to have an overall knowledge on keeping it very simple. Very simple indeed. It doesn't have to be rocket science. Eating more whole foods, 30 different varieties of fruit, veg and spices each week. Think about water, think about sleep, ensure protein for muscle building and repair, and watch your portion sizes on carbohydrates and snacks. I've given you 7 things there, and you can do enough research to create some bits and pieces and some learning for your guys. Okay, so I've just given you obviously some ideas on where fight camp would come in, how you can manipulate fight camp to suit the ideas that we've just spoken about. And I haven't even spoken about fight camp yet, or what it is or how you can use it. So that's what we're going to do now. So hopefully we're looking at in front of you now a little package, a package of what you can offer your next group of people. Thank you. Oh, you liked my instructor skills course. Yeah, and that's the reason why I put that instructor skills course together is because some guys that come on our Hatton boxing courses are not instructors. So you have no idea where to start or how to communicate. So I'm really pleased that that was good. It was only a snippet, but these In Your Corner meetings will develop your skills and your business acumen, hopefully, with some short, sharp action points. So hopefully I've given you an idea. Let's look at Fight Camp. Let's look at what Fight Camp is. I'm going to just show you something new now. I can find it. Okay. So this is looking at Fight Camp now, two beautiful people. So we have a fundamentals Fight Camp and an advanced Fight Camp. What happens after Fight Camp? You've got all of the standalone session plans that include everything you've learned in Fight Camp. Can you see my screen that's got the Fight Camp poster on now, guys?
No.
Okay, resume share. Let's have a look. I'm going to stop that for a second. And I was just about to talk about it, and then I realized that you might not be able to see it. So that doesn't quite work, does it? Okay, let's come back to my screen. Okay, this bit will only be another 10 minutes, I promise. And then we're done. I just love to chat. Okay, can you see this now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good stuff. So Fight Camp, it was initially produced as a small personal training, small group personal training plan, written session by session, and I really love it. And like I said at the start of the call, if you're just starting out doing Hatton Boxing for Fitness classes, I truly believe that this is your way in. You've done all the marketing, you've got people signed up for your class at Banner Times or your class at your community centre or in your boxing gym. And this is, regardless of what they already know, you're going to teach them from scratch, because we all know that Hatton boxing, some of the skills are slightly different. Some of the skills are slightly more in depth to what might have already been doing. And that's the beauty of it. It's a perfect synergy of boxing and fitness. And again, I believe that the safe and effectiveness of Hatton boxing with clients holding pads is great. So Fight Camp is obviously 4, 6 and 8 week intensive group exercise programs available for all Team Hatton members. It will take participants through a high intensity fitness program built into each session to ensure the boxing for beginners will become competent combination throwers, obviously, and pad holders. The programs have been designed by all of our master trainers, and it's designed on a class structure. The marketing material has been designed for you should you need it. And obviously only Hatton boxing certified instructors can use it. The legalities of it, about using what you can use it. Of course, you can use the word Fight Camp. That's what it's here for. And that's what all the marketing has been produced in or around. So you could say Hatton Boxing Fight Camp at Banner Times or Hatton Boxing Fight Camp with Andy. So you can call it whatever you need to call it. Okay. You can't obviously use these because this down here, Fight Camp Manchester and etc. Hatton Boxing, that's us. Okay, so just be mindful of when you're marketing and naming your session. Again, you'll find all of this. This is under the Fight Camp introduction sheet. Logos, you have the use of this logo here, and obviously your certified instructor logos, which you can download off of Team Hatton. You can't use our wings logo because that's Ricky's. And just to go over those things. We have got promotional packs available should you wish to use them. And that is an overview. So let's have a look at, I'm going to show you, isn't she lovely? And that's actually water, that's not sweat. Filming hack. So let's talk about Fight Camp. If you want to look into marketing and how you run up marketing, give me a shout and I'm happy to book a call in with you. If you're got your initial idea of Fight Camp, and you've got an initial date, you've got a venue, you've got equipment. If you wish to have another call with me on how best to market it and ideas on marketing, I'm happy to help, but you need to ask because we don't go through it in this. Yes?
I will be, I've run through all this with regards to your market and I'll be using all of that. I mean, and like you say, it's been cleared and as long as it's good to go with regards, as long as we can fall within the remit of what's on the rules. Yeah. I'll be using all of those, which is, I think they're amazing. I mean, it just makes it so much easier. I don't have to.
I'm so pleased. Yeah, it's spoon feeding, but I think sometimes you need that because it's big, isn't it? You're like, oh God, I've got hooks today and I haven't even taught them hooks. So how do I do that? That's what Fight Camp does. It tells you when to teach it at a timely manner, what
it's
to
just
teach
the
and
images
the
as
drills
well.
to teach.
The marketing images and the flyers and the posters are like this. It's just taken so much work away from me.
Yeah, they're saucy, aren't they? They're already made. And as well with the use of the images on whacking it onto Canva and putting your own text in. I think that wasn't available when we initially did Fight Camp. Like Canva's obviously been around, but we wrote this. Yeah, we wrote this a while back. Okay, so the initial idea, again, you can use this or you can manipulate it to work for you and your people. The initial first 4 weeks of a Fight Camp is fundamentals. So what you learn on day 1 of your course or fundamentals training day. I did it like a weigh-in because I tried to make it like boxers. So you weigh in if weight loss is your focus. If it's not, then you might actually say, do you know what, that's not really necessary. But you need to have a measure. I would always recommend that day 1, something is measured by you and written down somewhere. There is logs as well. So I've created logs on there. Nothing special, but just something for Sandra to add in her sessions. So we created a weigh-in and then any extra measurements that you deem necessary. Personally, if I'm taking on any clients and weight loss or weight maintenance or weight gain is there, measurements with a tape measure, I believe, are super important because the weight on the scales will fluctuate daily and it will affect people's moods. So think about what the measure is. Is it going to be a fitness test? There is fitness tests available on Fight Camp as well. So that's all there for you. And then just to give you an overview, and again, I'm not going to show everybody this because obviously people watching have not got access to it. You need to be a member of Team Hatton to get access to these plans. So week 1, session 1 focus. The idea is that there's 3 sessions each week. Do you have to do 3 sessions each week if you're doing small group personal training? I recommend that that's the minimum, but it also doesn't need to be. If you can only commit to twice a week, then you just run session 1 and session 2 in week 1, and then session 3 at the start of week 2. I hope that makes sense to everybody. If you are not using Fight Camp and you are using this to start your business in a club next week, this is the session you will teach. Then the following week, you will teach this session. Then in week 3, you will teach this session. So you see how it works when you're doing standalone sessions from the off? That's how it works, okay? So week 1, session 1, we teach what we're going to teach. And you'll notice if you've done a live course with us, this is what we take you through. It's nothing different. It's not as intrinsic as we teach you because we're teaching you to coach. But these are the stages that we do, how long it should take. So it gives you a rough idea on how long that session is. And then we add 3 rounds in the bottom. So we teach the techniques, we understand by developing into practical, and then we have our fitness rounds. Session 2, we teach the techniques, we have our fitness rounds. So it goes on like this. Then it moves to week 2. You have the warm up, the full session plan, the cool down is up to you dependent on time. Okay, there you go, guys. That is fundamentals Fight Camp. I'm not going to stop or detail anything from there, but obviously fundamentals covers the fundamentals learning. So straights and uppercuts, when to teach them and how to put them into rounds. Obviously then advanced takes you through the advanced techniques, when to teach them, how to teach them both from a boxer's perspective and a pad holding perspective, and how to put them into rounds as well. So it's all there for you. And that's what they look like. I can't go through them because you've seen them, but you need to be accessible to Team Hatton to be able to download them, work and using them. All right. So I know that wasn't a massive look at Fight Camp, but I think the first element was more important to show you what a Fight Camp or what it could be. I think that's important. Has anybody got any questions?
Nicola, just one thing that I was thinking when looking at this, what was just an idea that I was going to do. If I was going to do like what I was going to try and do is get a pair, because working together as a pair and seeing each other's progress. I was going to think about incorporating a separate day apart from the camp for each individual to focus on an hour of pad work, only just themselves, and taking the pads
without you.
Yeah, no, with me, obviously.
Okay.
So it's a single day on pads. So it's basically they've got my full attention for pads alone, as opposed to you learning the punching, so to speak.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more proficient as opposed to, because it tends to become, I don't know, I just thought it'd be a lot more beneficial.
Yeah, remember, if you're only doing groups of 4, you've got eyes on them all the time. So think about having it, that's 4 more hours per week, potentially, that you have to give to them. So you'd have to cost that in, and that's when it becomes more expensive. Yeah. So you might choose, Andy, to do 2 packages. You might choose one package, which is just fight camp and your hot topic. Say, for instance, you're choosing well-being, ad hoc yoga. That's your basic fight camp package. You might then choose a second package where they get an hour one-to-one with you every fortnight or every week. And then that package becomes more expensive. But in that package, you might say you'll throw in a pair of gloves. Okay. Or a t-shirt, or
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would potentially look at your packages and do maybe 1 or 2 different packages depending on your time, because you don't want your basic package to be so far out of the valuable reach of somebody that just wants to start.
Well, actually, what my intention was, sorry, I'm veering off here, it was going to be a free session on pad. That's what I was going to do.
If you've got the time and the ability to do that, by all means. If you're running 1 fight camp, that's 4 hours. If you're running 2 fight camps, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., that's potentially 8 hours of your week. So think about it from that perspective as well, in the bigger picture. 8 hours of unpaid work. Do you know what I mean? Just think about it. Maybe you could do it in, not necessarily every week, but you could potentially do it for 30 minutes.
It wouldn't be every. It would be, for example, if I was to pick up on for, say, 4 clients or 4 groups, it would be just 1 session per group, and then once that session's been complete, then that's it.
Understood. That makes perfect sense.
Do you understand
great. Yeah. So that's a technique workshop, essentially. One-to-one technique workshop. It
just gives them the technique, and the sessions are so much easier flowing, and they get so much more benefit when they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And also what you could do, and what I speak to my guys on live courses, use the technology that we've become accustomed to using over the lockdown period. Create support videos for your clients. And this is one that I think is really beneficial. Film yourself pad holding, teaching the pad holding technique. And this works for fight camp. This works for any clients coming to any group fitness classes. This also works as a boxing induction. But if you can film a boxing induction, a pad holding for straights induction, a pad holding for uppercuts induction, hooks, all the things, just like we've created in our support videos for you guys. Fix a YouTube channel or a OneDrive or a Google Drive or a Dropbox. Put all of those videos labeled 2 to 3 minutes each. And then just say, again, I'll use Betty because she's my girl that I use. Betty needs help with catching the hook. She didn't do quite well this week. You can just send Betty that link and say, just have 3 minutes watching that and then practice that.
That's a really good idea.
So you've got a library, essentially, of all the skills that you're going to be teaching in your classes that are there and ready, which have already taken you time, that are then sent to your clients in order to do that. And the boxing induction works really nicely if you're working obviously as part of a gym group, and you have people that are different turning up each week, and you want people to have had an induction. Boxing gyms, my boxing gym, anybody comes new, they have to have a 1-to-1 induction before they can come to classes. So that now, as in my head, goes online. They don't have to turn up at the gym necessarily. It'd be great if they could, but worst case scenario, they can look at your videos online. You can see that they've watched them, or they can feed back to you however, and that creates and forms part of the induction. So say, for instance, I teach a class on a Monday evening at 8 p.m. Sandra might turn up having never been, and everybody else that comes to the class has been coming with me for weeks. I haven't necessarily got all the time in the world to teach Sandra how to do it, but if I'd have known that she'd have previously booked in, Sandra can have access to all those videos, so when she turns up, she's got an idea of what she's doing, and then we can just tweak her. Make sense?
Yeah, completely.
I think that's a great tool, because it can just take you a couple of hours to film in a nice environment. edit the videos again how you see fit, depending on how good you are at editing, but ultimately they can just be a start and stop video. You can put your logo and wishy-washy colors and stuff in if you wish, but I don't think it needs it.
Cool.
Nicola, I tried Fight Camp before, maybe about a year ago. I think the problem I found is Fight Camp scares people. I seen on a Facebook group, some instructors had people from MMA turn up thinking that it was an actual fight camp. That it was contact. So I was thinking next time maybe to change, fight, just relate my experience to other people's, maybe to add Fight Camp and then boxing for fitness below, or get fit without the hits or something like that there, just to emphasize it, that that it's non-contact and
get fit without being hit is a good one. We've done some free online learning about that, and it got so many taps because people want to come and box. They don't want to get punched in the face. It's not nice, is it? It rattles your brain. It's not comfortable to get punched. So I think definitely, and that's great feedback. And we are potentially looking to rebrand and rename Fight Camp. Back in the day, it worked really nicely, but I think, the more people want to try new things, because people are getting more into not only coming to fitness, but also wanting to learn a skill. I think that's good feedback with regards to the name.
I also have a contact that kind of works worldwide as well. ACS from here in Northern Ireland, a guy called Tom Morrison. He's a mobility and strength and conditioning expert. You can check him out online. So he does a program called Simplistic Mobility Method. I did a live seminar with him towards the end of last year. So everybody could check him out. I don't know if it'd be cost effective for him to do it, but it might work out better if I was to train up in it as best as I could.
For sure.
Method.
And there are lots of like YouTube videos on box breathing and breathing methods to go in with the relaxation elements. And I'm working on producing strength, conditioning and injury resilience for a new course as well. So there's going to be some ideas that you can tap into off of that as well. And it's not to qualify anybody to be a strength and conditioning coach. It's more for you to use yourself. But of course, transferable skills as a coach, it's important, isn't it, that we try and tap into these things, or potentially go and educate and upskill ourselves in a new qualification to make ourselves as diverse, to create more opportunity for more people.
I'm currently considering doing a strength and conditioning course.
Contact me before you do.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions, guys? No? Fantastic. Well, hopefully it's given you a bit of more of an idea. I'm going to stop the recording actually now. Thank you very much for listening, if you are listening to the catch up. Also, please let me know if you have listened. You can email me any feedback, n.day@hattonboxing.com, or just drop me a message on the Facebook group. I'll be happy to hear from you. And ultimately, if you've got any ideas on what you'd like to hear about Fight Camp, then please let me know. Thank you.